Hey you guys, what's up? It's your girl Cree. Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to be going ahead and giving you guys my thoughts, a comparison of the Lataffa's Now Women Rave perfume, and we are putting it up against this Burberry Her elixir. And I also do have a little small dabber size of the original Burberry Her EDP, also for reference. So we'll be putting these three together today and doing a comparison as promised. And so if that sounds like something that you guys would like to see, then definitely continue to watch. If you aren't new here, then you already know the deal. Definitely like the video. Make sure that you have that notification bell hit so that you are reminded each and every time that I upload a video. And you guys, if you are new, first of all, welcome to the channel. I truly would love if you guys consider subscribing and joining the fam. With no further ado, let's get into it. Okay, now y'all, so for those of you who don't know and who have not been following my channel, I picked up this Rave Now Women approximately maybe 3 weeks ago to a month or so. I can't remember, but I definitely brought it to my channel a few weeks ago. I had it even prior. So my initial thoughts were that it did remind me of Burberry Her, just in essence, all of it. It definitely is reminiscent of that scent, but I wanted to give it some more time to sit, to macerate, to spray it out, and for me to just get way more acquainted with the fragrance. Just to be clear, in this video, I will not be going heavily into notes because that's not really what you're here for. You can always look that up on your own time, and I will certainly put the notes up there for you guys' viewing. But I'm just going to go off of what I smell today. I am familiar with the notes, but it's very clear to me what this is duping, in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to give you today. So this is the Lataffa Rave Now Women. I have this over here on the right side. But just so you guys can see, and I have already been wearing this fragrance today, but just so you guys can see, I'm gonna touch it up over here on this arm. And then I actually have just recently obtained this Burberry Her elixir. I already wanted this fragrance, you guys, so I did not go and get this fragrance for this comparison. I already had in my mind that I wanted this instead of the OG, which I did have and I previously gave away to a friend. I kept this just for reference, not knowing I was going to need to do this video, but here we are, so I'm glad I kept it. But yeah, so y'all know I have this here on my hand, and then I have the Lataffa Rave Now Women here, and then I will be spraying this, which is already on me as well, but I'm just going to touch it up for the camera. I'm going to spray this here on this side. So yeah, Burberry Her elixir. I'm going to give it some time to settle down and gather my thoughts, and I'll be right back. All right, you guys, so the fragrances have now dried down. There is nothing but like the oily type of residue on my hands and arms, so I just wanted to show you that. Let's go ahead and get into this comparison. So for me, this is not a hard decision. You guys, I've had this for, like I said, a few weeks. I've had the Burberry a little bit less, but even still, I've already got a gist of these fragrances. I wore the Burberry several times since I've had it this past week, and these are my thoughts. If you do not know, this original Burberry Her, I always felt like this was a little Band-Aid-ish. Like there is a part of this fragrance that leans very medicinal to me. Strong fragrance. It is heavy projecting. It lasts a long time, but it has moss in the base in these notes, and the moss really stands out to me in this fragrance, and I just don't care for it. It doesn't mesh well on my skin, and so I opted to get the elixir instead. That said, when I get to the elixir, the difference to me between the elixir and the original is that the elixir was toned down. Even though this is supposed to be an intense version, to me, Burberry Her, the original, is stronger than the elixir. The elixir is creamier to me. I will definitely show you a comparison of the notes. This is more toned down. To me, this is a more refined version of the Burberry Her. They definitely share the same DNA though. If you guys do not like Burberry Her at all, you don't like the DNA, you don't like the smell, you don't like the profile, I would definitely not recommend you get this or this, because they're all in the same family. Hey y'all, I realized in the playback that I completely skipped over the fact that this is a beautiful, sweet, feminine berry scent. Y'all, this is super sweet, super pretty. It is strawberry forward. I just felt like that probably went without saying, so I never really touched on it, but because this is a comparison, I feel like, yeah, I did need to say that. So yes, just for the record, this is a absolutely beautiful, sweet, feminine scent. It's perfect for all ages. I think the Burberry Her original is more for the younger crowd, and I think the elixir may be more for the olders, but it really doesn't matter. You can like either or. I apologize. I just assume that anyone who's really clicking on this video is really just trying to see the dupe version in its comparison to the others, in which they smell very similar. They all share the same DNA, so I felt like it probably went without saying. We all know that this is a strawberry creamy scent. So, but I just wanted to tap in and say that. Also, for the record, I know they have citrus notes displayed in both of these fragrances. I don't really get it, nor do I really detect the jasmine in any of the fragrances either. So just in case anybody is watching this and you have no idea about any of these fragrances, I did just want to touch on that. But back to the video. They all share that same DNA. I would not think that you would like this if you don't like this at all. I was one of those people who, it's not that I didn't like the fragrance at all, because I think it's a really beautiful feminine fragrance, but there was just too much of that mossy smell in there, and it's just so strong and it just hits you in the face and it sticks around, that I could not get with. What I will say, the difference to me in this is that even though you do get that flare, and moss is not in the notes of this elixir, there is a sandalwood and vanilla in the base of this one. And for me, in the dry down, it really comes through. It gets really creamy, and I like this dry down better. It still gives me that Burberry Her DNA, but toned down. To me, this is more of a skin sit after about 3 to 4 hours. It's not heavy projecting to me. Some people may feel otherwise, but for me and on my skin, that was my experience. It may perform differently on clothes, I'm sure, but for me on skin, that's how that was. It turned into a skin scent pretty much after about the 3 to 4 hour mark, depending on how much you sprayed. And as you can see, the mister on this one is a little different. It's very soft. Same with the other Burberry Her, whereas this, which I'll get to, is a different type of mist. But yeah, you guys, all in all, this is just a creamier, more vanilla and sandalwood. You get that in the base, amber heavy. I like this one better. Do I think that it's sweeter? Honestly, no. I don't feel that this is a sweeter version. I think the original is pretty candy sweet. It really is. For me, this is a more mature version. Not in a big way. It's not in a major way, but to me, this is just more refined, and it's a little toned down to me, which I personally enjoy. I'm happy about that. I think that could be a little confusing for some because it is listed as an elixir and an intense version. So others may be surprised by that, but that was just my interpretation. I really enjoy this fragrance. I love it. And to be honest, y'all, I'm in love with the bottle. I've been in love with the bottle since I first saw it. When I had the clear one, I was like, man, I wish I had that pink one. I know, y'all, I don't talk about bottles a lot, but this was one that just seemed so beautiful to me. It's just so feminine, and I just had to have it. I just needed it, and so here we go. But I do love this fragrance, and out of the three, this is my favorite. That said, when it comes to the Rave Now, so for me, in these notes that I recall, the difference in this one is that it has Lily of the Valley, as well as there is a marshmallow note in this fragrance, versus the other two do not have a marshmallow note. That said, I do not find this to be creamier than the others. And when put up against this one, this is way more screechy. This is way heavier in that moss. Moss that I have already stated to you guys that I do not like. This has it so much more. So much more. This has that mossy smell in the opening, but when it dries down, it really does dissipate into something that I can tolerate. This, the way that it goes on, is the same way it is in the dry down, and it lasts and it lasts and it lasts for a long time. So my opinion, this leans closer to Burberry Her, the EDP. Those are just my thoughts. I don't believe that over time it will get creamier and suddenly start to smell like the Burberry Her elixir. I just don't see it happening. This is more leaning closer to the original. And so for those of you who are really fans of the original and have thought about getting that, I recommend, if you don't want to spend that money and you don't care about having this bottle or the name brand, that you absolutely should get this, because I think this was what, it's either $30 or less. I feel like it was like $20, but definitely under 30. I highly recommend this. I got mine from jomashop.com just for reference. But yeah, y'all, this to me is very, very close to this. This and this, I don't think if you had these on two different wrists, you would not know or be able to tell the difference. Yeah, y'all, no one would be able to tell that you don't have Burberry Her. So I highly recommend this. Even if you have Burberry Her and you're just looking for something to add to it, or you don't really want to have to go out and or run through your bottle, or you don't want to have to go out and purchase it again, because you know these fragrances have gone up. If you don't want to have to buy this again and you're like, I just want something to make it either last longer if it doesn't last on you, or you just need something that's more heavy projecting, this is the one. I'm telling you, this is a very good dupe for the original. Personally, I don't find it to be the same as the elixir. That said, not everybody has the experience that I did, and not everybody feels the way I do about the elixir. But for me, this is just the version that I like the best, that I can tolerate. It still has some of that mossy type of flair in there, even though it's not listed in the notes. But I really like that dry down, how creamy it gets. That sandalwood, that amber, and that vanilla really stand out to me. This is closer to this, and it could take some time for this to really settle together and really perform at its best. But for me, I'm cool with the other one that I got. But for those of you who are looking for a dupe for Burberry Her, the original, I think you will be satisfied with this. I feel like if you are looking for something to be duping the elixir, I don't think you will find that this is giving you what you want it to. But you know, give it a try for yourself. And if you happen to just want to take a chance on it and buy it, again, you're only out maybe 30 bucks. So like I said, if you like Burberry Her and you like its DNA, I don't think you're gonna go wrong with it, because it's still in that ballpark, but it is not as refined as the elixir, in my personal opinion. You guys, those are my thoughts, just raw and out the top of the dome. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a little bit more insight. This is just my perspective. It ain't law. You can have a completely opposing view, and that is your prerogative. You guys know I don't mind you opposing. I don't mind you having a difference of opinion. All I ask is that you be respectful in the comments. If you decide to leave a comment, your girl appreciates you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Y'all be safe.